Hello to you and welcome to Mwalimu Kipepeo, where we take time to learn a thing or two. This is episode 6 of season 2 and I am delighted to be your host. My name is Jasmine Wambui. Happy new month to all of you. Today's episode is on developing a reading culture. It is my hope that by the end of this episode, we shall all be motivated to either start on developing a reading culture or to improve on our existing reading culture. Stay tuned to the very end because we shall be telling you where you can get books at an affordable price. Enjoy! I developed a reading culture rather gradually at a very tender age. I went to a primary school that had a fully equipped library, and to top it up, we had an annual reading contest where the entire school would spend a whole day competing on reading aloud to the rest of the students. And being chosen as a contestant was every boy's and girl's dream because there were awards given to the best readers. And let me tell you, the reading was always beautifully done. We were taught how to read and look up, look down, look up as you read so that you can keep eye contact with your viewers or your listeners. This made us all compete to be the best in class so that we get to read during the contest. Well, my dad has also been instrumental in helping me develop a reading culture together with a former neighbor, next door neighbor called Jimmy. They would both buy many books, which I challenged myself to read regardless of the level of the book. Ever since I turned 7 years old, Jimmy made sure he got at least one book as a birthday gift for me and also for my sister. Well, today, I love reading books by John Grisham and Mitch Albom. I don't mind soft copy books or reading apps. If you find me busy on my phone, scrolling and my head has just been there for, looking at my phone for a very long time, I'm probably reading a book. I would recommend an app called AnyBooks, which helps a lot. I'm also on an online WhatsApp book club where we share and discuss books. So today's guest is an ardent reader, and this made us very close friends when we were working together at a certain local media house. If you need a book, she is your plug. She's your go-to girl. So, Rose, welcome to Mwalimu Kipepeo. Hi, Rose. Please give our listeners a brief introduction of yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Rose Modhoni Njoroge. I am a journalist. I am a mother of 3. I love reading.
Okay, so what sparked your interest in reading books? Tell us what sparked it. Was it primary school? Was it high school? What is that one thing? Was it your parent or someone who brought you into this whole reading culture?
So what sparked my interest in reading books is my class 2 teacher once gave me Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And when I read that book, I thought it was magical. So from then on, I was on a quest to find something that would be more magical than that. At the time, we were living in Nakuru, so I ventured into the nearest library. I was there every Saturday. I spent 3/4 of the day in the library reading. Sometimes I would even forget to eat. Then after high school, I stopped reading for a while. I did a whole thing with university, just enjoying my youth. But then when I started work as a journalist, I rediscovered my love for books after a friend of mine gave me a Khalid Hussein book. And from then on, I have read so many books.
So what are some of the most memorable books you have read and why? Which books are these?
One of the most memorable book I've read is the one that I actually read most recently. It's a book uh, by Lema Gbowe. She wrote a book, Mighty Be Our Powers, on the struggle of Liberia and how her movement, which encompassed women only, helped end the war in Liberia.
How can one develop a reading culture, and why is it important to develop that reading culture?
To develop a reading culture is easier than anyone would think. Usually just go to Goodreads and look for the uh, highly recommended books, the most interesting books, the books with 4.2 stars and above, and start with those ones. Start small and build up as you go, and just read a diverse range of genres, so that from those genres you're able to pick up something that you like, or a genre that you can keep up to. Although I would also say that it would be sad to just limit yourself to just one genre, because you learn something new from every genre. So why is that a reading culture important? Well, I usually say that reading is the easiest way to travel all parts of the world. We do not have so many days in our lives, so it will be impossible for us to travel every inch of earth. But books are an easy way to just amass up destinations, to amass up ideas from other people, to learn from people, to expand our horizons. I've never picked a book and I haven't learned anything. So you can imagine that if one book gives me 2 lessons, and I'm able to read around 20 books a year, that means I have amassed about 40 new lessons. So developing a reading culture is very important. Plus, it's a very good pastime. It's the best way to escape reality sometimes. Things get tough. The 8 to 5 sometimes is can really weigh you down. So if you can find an escape in a book, why not? Yeah, and then also reading improves language. There's so many benefits to reading that we can't really exhaust.
Book clubs are quickly gaining popularity in Kenya, and I know you're involved in at least one that I'm aware of. How can one find and join a book club? What is the procedure?
So to find a book club, you start with a genre first. What genre do you like? Do you like motivational books? Do you like African literature? Do you like romance? Do you like autobiography? So that's the first part you start with, so that once you know what genre you like, you can align your needs to the book clubs that are available. And luckily, there's so many book clubs in Kenya. And if you do not find one that suits your needs, you can also start one, and trust me, you're going to find people who also want to venture into the same thing. Book clubs are a group, and they are ruled by group dynamics. And group dynamics, anyone who has been in a group will understand that there will be conflict here and there will be issues cropping up. So I believe book clubs also need a lot of emotional intelligence. They also need a lot of discipline, so that you're not stepping on other people's toes. I also believe that it's good to leave a book club in good terms when the time comes. So that you do not carry baggage, and it does not ruin reading for you, because you don't want anything ruining books for you. So finding one, you can find one on the socials. There are so many: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And I actually don't think we have enough book clubs. So if you can start one, I think the more the merrier.
That's so informative, Rose. Thank you so much. But how can one find you to know more about the reading culture, or to just borrow or buy books from you? How can one find you?
I chronicle my books on Instagram, on a page called at Bookish Scribe. So just combining my love for books and also my career in journalism, just the love of writing. So you can find me at Bookish Scribe, where I chronicle the books that I read. Um, I would recommend the Inamas of Nairobi for your books, if you're tight on budget. New books can be quite expensive, so if you can find yourself, you find your way into an Inama shop, please do so. You'll find so many gems there. I also love Prestige and Textbook Center. They have the latest books and they are not pricey, so that's always a plus. Well, I wouldn't talk about ebooks because I love the smell of books and touching the book, so I have a hard time reading ebooks. So for me to give advice on that, I'll be lying to people. So but you can always do your research and see what sites are good for that. Um, on borrowing books, that's usually very hard for someone who is obsessed with their books like I am. It's very difficult for me to let go of a book. Sometimes, if you're so close to me, I prefer buying the copy for you rather than lending it to you. Because if a book comes back and it has dog ears, or if you never get it back, it really, really hurts. I know you people will have heard that books sometimes are our babies, so we really treasure them and take care of them. Well, if you want to buy any books from me, just message me on my Instagram, and I will be more than willing to sell you books or source books for you that you would like from Inama bookshops. That way you'll have amazing copies in your bookshelf without breaking the bank. You can also direct message me on my other page, that is Thrift Finds Inc. Thrifts Find Inc., where I sell thrifted items. So the ink is INC, so Thrift Finds INC. Direct message me and ask me for books. I will source them for you. It can be books from any genre. It can be books for adults or children as well.
Finally, Rose, please give us your parting shots or anything you would like to add to our discussion today.
My parting shot is it's important that we inculcate the reading culture in our children. So starting them very early, making sure that your children have access to books, which includes maybe setting up a bookshelf and buying them a few books and reading to them when they are not able to read when they are still young. Also encouraging them to read when they start going to school and start reading as well. And when you talk about children, we are also encouraging parents to expose children to diverse materials. We want books that encourage our young black children to just love the skin they are in. So finding books that have African heroes, telling the stories of Africa, telling the stories of Kenya, just so that we're able to change the narrative as they grow. Also, I believe diversity is key, so you're exposing them to, different people, different beliefs, and different cultures. Also, challenges that people might face, be it physical, mental, so that we have a society that is more embracing of diverse people. So, usually, when starting to read when you're an adult can be quite challenging, but if you start them very young, then that is something that they will never depart from.
On March 4th, in the year 1877, Emil Berliner invented a new kind of microphone. It assured the future of the telephone, but not fame for Berliner. Alexander Graham Bell had already invented his telephone, but without Berliner's carbon disc or carbon button microphone, telephones would have sounded terrible for decades, and they may not have been capable of surmounting such great distances, hindering one of humanity's most important advances. So thanks to Emil Berliner, we are able to hear this conversation as clearly as we can. Now you know. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Mwalimu Kipepeo. Please like our Facebook page for brand new episodes every week. Remember to like and share this episode with everyone you know. I'm Jasmine Ombwe. Let's meet next week for another learning experience. Ciao!